welcome everybody to the Paintball Lounge, where we have the legend Nick Slowiak from, I guess now they're saying free agent
Yeah, from Die. That's it.
from Die. He is he is everything. Ironman player, aftershock twice. You know, he done
Three
it all.
three times.
Oh, three
Dude, three
times.
times, man. Yeah, I thought the third time would have been the charm, but nah.
Dang. But yeah, we have the legend. We have a legend on the Paintball Lounge, which is amazing. We always have coaches, we always have local players on here, but now this is the first time we actually have a pro player and one of the legends. So, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words.
Hey,
Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
hey, you are one of the top players in my book. One of the top players I love watching, like and how you play and every single step. Like I just get memorized of how like I'm just in awe. I really am.
Thanks,
But
man.
hey, no problem. So, how it all started from you, like the beginning of this incredible journey that's still going on.
So it all started with a newspaper article. For those of you that hopefully most of you maybe know what a newspaper article is. I don't know if some of you younger people have read a newspaper ever in your life. But back in the day, that's how we got the majority of our news, not just TV and social media, especially in social media, 'cause it didn't exist. But
Right.
my dad found a newspaper article about a paintball field called Operation Paintball operating in Hampshire, Illinois. And at the time, I was 9 and couldn't play because the rules were for insurance purposes, you couldn't play until you were 10. And he asked me if I wanted to do it. And he read me the article. And it pretty much sounded like an adult version of Cops and Robbers or Cowboys and Indians. So I was like, sure. I like, shooting my BB gun. I've shot a 22, grew up in scouting and shooting and archery and stuff. So I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, who would not want to do that?
Right.
So kind of forgot about it after that. The next summer came around, or maybe it was a little bit into the fall, and I was 10. And my dad was like, hey, do you still want to do that paintball thing? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we went with a family friend of ours. They had a son. My dad's friend had a son who was like a year older than I. And we joined just open play, I think. I don't know that we were a private group,
Mm-hmm.
the four of us, and we just started to play. And it was one of the greatest times of my life. Like,
Wow.
just putting into practice all the sneakiness. Like, I wanted to join the army. I loved being in camouflage
Mm-hmm.
and sneaking around and being as crafty as I could. So, like, to be able to do that in that setting outside of playing speedball, where we were on a very open, quick field,
Mm-hmm.
it was everything I kind of hoped for. Paint was like $120 a case. I used a pump gun, a PMI like tracer, I think, and first time I got shot was like right up here in the collarbone and the shoulder, and it didn't hurt. And I was like, "That's it. Like paintball's easy." And the next game, I got shot in the wrist, and like I teared up and was like, "Ah, my wrist is broken. This sucks." And like the ref came over, he's like, "Where'd you get shot?" I'm like, "In the wrist." He's like, "Well, it didn't break." And I'm like, "So am I good?" He's like, "No, you're crying. You can't. You get out." I was like, "Oh, okay." But I mean, that in itself like really hooked me. And then seeing my dad run and like dive over a tree, and like people shit like we're shooting at him, and I get pissed, and they're like, "Don't shoot my dad." Like those are just things that are ingrained in my mind. Those memories, and I loved it. It was hooked. And my parents made a deal with me that if I got good grades in school, they would help buy my first paintball marker or markers, and they did. And then it was kind of on me to pursue it more. And I had no desire to come out of the woods. I did not like the idea of being seen. I was like, I want to make use of camouflage in the woods and trees. But my friends I met, Chris Sosine, Greg Sosine, their dad Mike Sosine, and Mike Morley, all like tournament paintball. And I made the fifth, and 5-man was big back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I started playing tournament paintball with them, and I'm just naturally competitive. So that forced me to just work harder to get better and better.
Right. And so you went to. You said this is the third time you went to aftershock. So, what was the first time?
So the first time was at the end of '06, so going into '07.
Mm-hmm.
I was working at ProCaps at the time, which was they were the makers of Hellfire, Blaze, Inferno. In Addison, Illinois, I was working out of their warehouse as a shipper and receiver, and Jeremy Salm was the warehouse manager, and he coached Aftershock. and one of the players on the team had to leave the team, Nick Matthews. So there was an opening, and he asked me after we had just played the first event in Division Two, as Denver Altitude, and actually won the first event in California at the Staples Center. And then he asked me if I wanted to go pro, which was funny because like that's all I'd ever wanted. And I was like, well, there's the second event, MAO is coming up. But I'm like our team, Denver Altitude, is coming to Chicago to practice aftershock. Can I play with them this event and join the team after? And he said, no, this is your only opportunity. Either you accept and go pro now, or I find somebody else. So I essentially had to tell all those guys like, hey, I'll pick you up from the airport, but I'm not playing with you guys anymore. I'm playing with aftershock.
Wow.
And so that was my first practice with the official practice with the team. I've been playing with and against those guys since I've been going to Badlands.
Dang. What other teams other than Aftershock and Ironman you've been playing? Because it sounds like your experience, you've been playing more than just two teams.
Yeah, so I left Aftershock at the end of the 2011 season, which is kind of captured very well, very elegantly by Planet Eclipse in the One Night to November video. So I left the team 2011 to join Houston Heat. My best friend, Chad Boucher, drove like with a mastermind kind of behind that, drove down to meet me in the off season and kind of gave me a heads up as to what was going on with that team. So I quit Shock and called Randy Smith and said, hey, I heard there's an opportunity here and I'd like to, I'd be honored if I could be a part of it. And then I had a flight to Houston, and I showed up to Houston, and there was Konstantin Fedorov, Sergei Solnishkov, and Mishka Knezet, along with Chad George, Sam Monville, Ronnie Dazan, John Woodley, Ryan Smith, and Chad, and Yaya. And so that was Houston Heat. And I played with them for 2012, 2013, 2014. Got cut from Heat in 2015, going into 2015, and I joined Upton 187 crew. Played with Upton 187 crew for 2015 and 2016. The team disbanded at the end of 2016. So for 2017, I played for Chicago Aftershock my second time. So I played 1 year with Aftershock in 2017, and then got picked up by X Factor for 2018 and 2019. Got cut. Thanks LJ. Thanks Doug Woodley. Got cut at the end of 2018. Wait, 2019, and then I joined the Ironmen in 2020. That year is the COVID year, so we played the first event and won.
I remember that.
And played with the Ironmen 2020, 2021, 2022. Well, there wasn't really a 2021 season, so 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah.
Yep.
And then got cut. Gee, I just get cut. And then Aftershock for the third time comes back. And Aftershock in 2018 got relegated to semi-pro and did not stay as a pro team in the NXL.
Right.
And they played 10-man in other events as Aftershock. The name never went away. The team as a paintball organization never went away, but playing at the pro level did not exist, or in the NXL.
Right, because
Todd Adamson.
Because there's so many different versions of Shock, and
yeah, the team has always like competed in 10-man events at the ICPLs and the UWL to ICPL, and I think maybe a few other 10-mans across the country. That Billy Saransky, Rennick Miller, and Todd Adamson actively competed in, along with a few others, Mike Bruno and Gary, and a lot of the legendary OGs, like the true legends of the team. And so Todd Adamson acquired the Columbus level spot after they quit, after they disbanded at the end of 23, and then reformed the team as Aftershock, which was just a year ago now.
Yeah.
The team was created. Todd Martinez left Houston Heat and was picked up to be coach of the team. And then the majority of the team was formed of our 2020 Ironman team. So you had Silos Cortez, Corey Hall, LJ Parrish, Alex Rodriguez, Thomas Kim, and myself.
Now, funny story about LJ Parrish. And my dad.
Yeah, he's funny.
Well, here's a funny story. My dad actually went to high school with his mom.
No way.
way. I was like, no, like because he asked me, and this was actually when you were still playing for the Ironman, which we're gonna talk about your journey with Ironman because that's where you got your nick. Like everybody know, hey, Nick Slowiak is part of Ironman because you got that YouTube video, the Tic Tac of YouTube video,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
we're
with
gonna talk
Michelle.
about that in a minute. But it was when he showed me like, hey, is LJ Parrish, you know him? I'm like, no. And he told me he plays for professional paintball. I'm like, oh really? And
Oh
well,
really?
it was with Iron Man and then went to aftershock. So that was a pretty cool, you know, wow, Dad, you know his mom. Wow,
Yeah, that's it's a small world, and it's
very
interesting.
small.
Yeah, like there's quite a few people that I have met that just happen to know someone that plays. Right? It's just paintball is crazy as it may seem. Like the tournament side of paintball is very small
Mm-hmm.
compared to the masses that know what the game of paintball is. Right? In the
Right.
woods, scenario based stuff, but like a lot of people know what it is. So like when you mentioned you play paintball, like people can relate to that now. It's easy to make that. It's a good icebreaker. It's a good way to like make connections.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So yeah,
It's like it, it goes from a paintball goes from like oh we're just strangers to friends and then to family where that's where we get our slogan from paintball's not just a sport, it's family
yeah,
because it really is because you're
yeah.
traveling,
No, 100%.
yeah, because you're traveling the road like mostly three like every now so often to go play tournaments. You're spending nights at like um Airbnbs, hotels with your buddies, so it has to be a family, like, but
Yeah, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of using that word, like, because like I think like look we're like team teammates and like brotherhood
mm-hmm.
to a sense. Like I'll use, but like there's some stuff that I mean, and like you could have family members that are nasty and you can't choose your family. But yeah, I always like to say that. I'm not trying to be negative to
Oh
anybody.
no,
Like,
no, you're
yeah,
good, man.
we're family and whatnot, but like, we're a team. I got your back on the team. But like, if we were family, I wouldn't do that to my family. So
Right.
I'm just putting that out there. I'm sure some people out there that are listening and do listen can relate to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can relate to it. Trust me. There are some people that you're like, and trust me, I know some people in Louisiana that are like that. I'm like, but so the journey with Iron Man, that's in my book. That's where like you were best known for like being on Iron Man because, like I said, you got that Tic Tac video, which how did that feel being on I guess infomercial about Tic Tac, the myth.
Yeah. So so Michelle Carr, for those of you that don't know, um, started this YouTube video for this her channel called
Mm-hmm.
Challenge Accepted, and I don't know. I'm trying to remember if she was a professional cycler. She was in some sort of athletic competition
Mm-hmm.
and a professional in that area. I apologize to her if she ever hears this. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she started her YouTube channel called Challenge Accepted, and she would go out and try and participate in all of these extreme or rare or I don't know if stigma is the word, but just uh, things that were hard, right? To see if she could
Mm-hmm.
master them or get better at them. And through the Team Ironman and Die websites, she contacted the team and got a hold of Nikki McEvers, the coach, and set it up through her production team to come out to Victory Paintball Park. Rest in peace. Hopefully, it comes back someday. That was on Camp Pendleton to be trained and work through what we would do as professionals, to be coached by a professional coach and be taught by a professional player. So that was really cool because in her area, she's got I think over 3 million subscribers on her YouTube and like a lot on Instagram and her other channels. You collect outside the industry sponsors, which isn't something that we're used to in
Oh,
paintball, right? That's just a different world, right? It's the real
right.
world. That started to change a little bit in paintball, and there's been flashes of it here and there throughout the years, and I know there's been a big push, but to them, it's just like another Tuesday.
Right.
right? This is just normal. So it was really cool to see how they integrated that Tic Tac sponsorship into the show, not only in making a commercial to talk about it, but then
Mm,
to, you know, have the color of the Tic Tac decide the color of paint that we were going to use, which was also pretty cool in itself because we knew ahead of time, and through the sponsors, G.I. Sports, we were able to get two different colors of paint so that at the end of it, one team used pink and the other team used like blue or yellow, right? And
right.
so that worked out well with Tic Tac for the sponsor, and it was just a really cool experience. It was a lot of fun.
All right. I mean, did she? I know I didn't see. I don't think I saw it, but did she ever play like 5 man or like?
She never played before, and we worked it out to play a 3-on-3 at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
video for the finale.
Right.
But they never played before. Like none of them had. I think maybe
Wow.
one of the people running sound
Mm-hmm.
in her crew had maybe played before. But no, I mean she crushed it. Like she picked up stuff right away, and you could tell that while she might have seemed nervous about jumping into it,
Right.
just her mindset. And if you follow her and watch some of her videos, you can see how easily she adapts and accepts it. And picks things up like she does amazing. What she did better than the vast majority of people that had ever gone and played before. I'd like to think like we gave her a little bit of confidence in our coaching and working with her, both Nikki and I.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've gone back and I've watched that video countless times with friends, with my kids, and I've definitely gained an appreciation for how well she did. It was very easy in the beginning to kind of just be like, eh, just be kind of starstruck, right? Because this was a big deal for it, like for me and for Nikki, and to see how well it did on YouTube. But to go back and really pay attention to how well she moved and she listened, like it's good. It definitely brings me hope, and I know that it's done a lot of good for paintball. And it's interesting, right? Because like a lot of people have come to me and said, "Oh, you're from that YouTube video, right? That TikTok, the Michelle video." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, at least I'm known for something. Like it's not aftershock or
Nick
having played pro for
Slowiak,
20 years.
Tic Tac
TikTok, right?
guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to like get some like TikToks with me or carry myself, like do something different.
Yes,
I don't know.
definitely. Well, maybe the Tic Tac color would be, let's see, maybe red, black, blue.
Black would
Maybe
be interesting. I don't know if they make black ones.
they might. Hey, it's Tic Tac. They will probably think of something.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I agree 100%. While I was watching the video, she was, you know, I don't know if this was actually the spark that I think, but ever since I watched that video, it was kind of, coincidence that after watching that video, then we got the women's NXL, and I think that was a part of it. I do not know. I believe it was because the
What you
timing.
think? Oh no, that was something that's been in the works for a while.
Oh yeah, I know it's been worse
Yeah,
for a
yeah, yeah.
while, but I think it was that bringing like an influencer like her and showing that, hey, maybe we should give it a little bit of push, more exposure. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the timing. I think that's just kind of coincidence that that happened because I mean, we did film that. Typically when you have a post-produced show,
Hmm.
it could have been filmed a year ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then by the time it's ready, and they had other things that were already in line, like scheduled out. So I think it was just kind of like coincidence, but like the timing couldn't be better, right? To show, to say, hey, there's the WNXL um, coming in, and here's an example of a girl off the street who like give her credit where credit's due. Like she's choosing to do this and is giving it her all and her full attention and full focus.
Hmm.
But that means like if there's anything that you care about and you want to do, that's what you're not doing that, then what are you doing?
Right.
Like if you're going to go in, dive into something in the world of paintball where it's a luxury sport, especially in the tournament end, you're spending thousands of dollars just on equipment, not even getting into travel, right? Like then if you're not putting in 100%, you're just wasting your time and everyone else's time that you're there with, right? You want to go have fun and drink beer and stuff, you can go do that somewhere else,
Right.
the 10-man feel, like that's perfectly fine. I'm not knocking any of that. I like to have fun. Paintball's a game. We're supposed to have fun.
Right.
But the
100%.
flip side of it, Not when you step on that tournament field. You know what I mean?
No, when you hit that tournament field, you're like, the fun's over now. This like it
Yeah,
gets.
everything I've trained for, everything I've worked for, like
Mhm.
you put it all out there, and any opportunity you get, you go for it.
I agree 100%.
That's
And
right.
you have like everything you train for. You just give it all you got. You give it all you got, and you know, and that's why I tell everybody. When especially when they get down in the dumps, and I say, look, brush it off, learn from your mistakes, come back a little bit more deadlier, a little bit more stronger, and a little bit more faster, and then you'll be fine. And that's my mental. That's why my mindset every single time.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have.
So when you were with the Ironman, and we saw that Nikki was going to be the coach for a time. How did that felt? Knowing that Nikki, who is known as a female coach, I'm not being sexist or anything like that, because she is a great
But
coach. How did it feel knowing that she's coming to coach Ironman, not the women XL, but the men's XL?
well, it felt great. Yeah, I mean, like she is a woman, and she's the first woman pro coach so far that in the history of paintball, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very natural, and it felt great because she's always her and Fran
Mm-hmm.
have always been there, and I include Fran because like he's just her oversized shadow. That's right, Fran. I called you fat. Um, and so, but Nikki's always been there assisting Todd and providing, taking stats and analytics and measuring other teams. And she's always been, before I had gotten there, had always been there assisting Todd and the team.
Mm-hmm.
So coming in to join the team and getting to know Nikki and how she operates, it wasn't like we just got someone completely new in.
Right.
It was just Nikki who was stepping up into that role
Mm-hmm.
that she essentially kind of was in a way doing. She was the assistant coach. There was like she wasn't calling plays, but she knows the game of paintball. She grew up playing paintball. Her parents owned a paintball field. She's played paintball essentially her whole life. So like that was the refreshing thing is that she had her own ideas and were implementing them the way she saw fit. And like Nikki doesn't take shit from people.
Ooh, I like
Like she
that.
calls it the way she sees it. So like some coaches, not all of them, but some of them are like could use a little more backbone. And she
Sugar
had
coat. The sugar coat.
no, there's not so much sugarcoating. It's just like if there's a difference between right and wrong, or you
Mm-hmm.
hear something, like you speak up, like you don't hold back.
Right.
When something's going on in the pit or people are arguing, like you don't sit there and just let that continue. You seize the bull by the horns and you take control. And
Right.
Nikki did, I thought, a very good job of that coming into a wild scenario, right? Where like Todd stepped back from the team. Like COVID happened,
Mm-hmm.
Todd left. We had a bunch of different changes with the team. Like it was kind of just chaos,
Yeah, it was
and
chaos. It was.
she did the best. She did the best with the hand that she was dealt. And I mean, we took a second place at one of the events that year in Sacramento at Edge. And like, there'd have been the icing on the cherry on top of the cake if we would have won that.
Right.
But I mean, I think she did great. But decisions were made after that to replace her with Shane
Right.
and Mike Paxton. And Shane had kind of been there in the background, assisting.
Mm-hmm.
But he's came up with Dave, the owner of Die, and has always kind of been there. And so like, you know, and then Nikki was still involved, and she's still involved to this day. Like Nikki and again Fran, like their skill set helps in so many ways, and it's like the reason why aftershock was successful last year was because of those two. The reason why with the Ironman we had success was because of those two. So you can't. It's one of those things. Like if they're like some of the unseen heroes um, for the team and their teams, and that goes to a few other people too out there that are pro staffs that help and assist and make things run super smooth and without hitches. Because there's some pro guys out there that are some prima donnas, and they
I
need
know a couple.
their Evian waters and egos massaged, and they help that happen so that there's no uh, water boiling over the edge. To
Yeah.
keep the water simmering and not boiling over.
Oh, I know a couple. I know a couple needs a little.
We don't
But
need to name names. Okay,
I'm
we're
not
all
gonna name.
friends here.
I'm not gonna name names. They know who they are.
Let's not get crazy.
Hey, it's a paintball lounge. Crazy's my middle name.
It's the Paintball Lounge.
So but yeah, I mean, now when you went from Iron Man and to hearing that, hey, aftershock is coming back,
Mhm.
like, were you just like, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go.
No, because I was cut.
Okay.
So like
Yeah,
I
you should have
was,
said that.
yeah. So I was doing stuff with the team. There was a lot of movement in every offseason. There's a lot of movement, as I'm sure most of you know, especially with this last one. There's a lot of movement happening, and the team ownership management decided to go in a different direction, and most of the team, most of the guys that have been around for 3 or 4 years were cut,
Mm-hmm.
and a whole bunch of new players were brought in.
Oh.
So, and then that was the 2024 season. So I was teamless, and then Dynasty took Danny Schonauer from Level Up. Dave Pando had enough and essentially pulled the plug, and Todd Adamson snuck in. Oh, actually, he snuck in, but like he came in and
He's Slytherin.
he came in and bought that spot. And then Aftershock was formed. He renamed Level to Aftershock, and I just happened to be doggy paddling in the ocean. And then he hit me up and he called me and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing." And I was like, "Yep, I'm in. Let's go."
Not
And then
to
the rest is kind of history.
not to say anything, but when I saw that aftershock was coming back, I was like, and saw that you were on there, I was like, they're gonna make magic,
We
and
tried.
y'all did try. I'm not gonna lie, y'all did try, but y'all did make some magic, especially, which we're about to talk about, being one of the teams that were on the air of ESPN Ocho with Russian Region. Now, there was a kind of out conspiracy or like rumor saying that with everything going on in the world, the Red Legion, Russian Legion versus American team. go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead to hell on ESPN. I'm not gonna lie, I was just rooting for Aftershock. It's because I like your gameplay style and everything, and I've always been a fan of Red Legion. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Red Legion, but Aftershock was my number one like go to during that season, other than the Hurricanes.
Sorry to disappoint you.
No, you didn't disappoint me because honestly, what I was looking for was, okay, we're going to ESPN. This is the chance. Make it shine. Come on, make it shine. And how did it felt for you being on that platform, like knowing that you're going to be on ESPN?
I mean, there was no like, ooh, this is a hype. Like, it was like big picture. We knew. You always have to look at the big picture. We knew what, or at least we had an understanding. Tom Cole did a halfway decent job of voicing what this meant to not only him but the league and paintball as a whole. And so, everything started a little bit later. There was more time between points. So things were done at a pace that wasn't typical of a finals match or just even the NXL as a whole. Which, I mean, like looking back on it now, kind of stinks. Like I would love to say if we started the tournament, if we started the finals a little bit earlier, and didn't have to really kind of have to deal with the production of it as much. Like they were a little removed, right? Kind of on the outside looking in.
Right.
That we might have had a better opportunity to win. I mean, we blew it. I mean, if you go back and watch, like we blew high body situations early on, and we fell behind, and then it was just a matter of the weather. That weather definitely with the wind sucked when you were shooting. If you were running left against the right-handed shooters on the Dorito side, because the wind was just blowing so hard that way, it was super hard to make it out, and we didn't adjust. And I don't want to blame that on ESPN and the production, but it's definitely something that is like if I could go back and change some things about that, I mean, I'd change how we played. I'd change the plays. I
Hmm.
would, be more conscious in the moment of things that were happening to both teams that we had adjust more quickly on. Um, but I would have liked there to be, if I could have removed the extra time in the pits because they would go from pit to pit interviewing the teams and what about what just happened, which is perfect. Like that's the thing to do. Like this is a show that's going to be aired on ESPN. You
Hmm.
need to capture and get those things in the moment when they're happening. They're fresh in people's mind. You don't have time. No one has time Sunday afternoon when everyone's leaving and going home back to the real world to
Right.
then stop people and delay them to go over something that just happened after you've either been elated with the victory or super crushed with a defeat.
Right.
So in that area of things, like I thought it was great, big picture wise, but like yeah, I mean part of it kind of sucked. But
Yeah.
overall, like it all worked out. Like you know, for to shrink it down, we had two die teams in the finals, which was great for the company. Say whatever you want about conspiracy this, conspiracy that. Like I don't have time for that bullshit. So like for me, it's whatever. The Russians are a fantastic team.
Oh
They
yeah,
won
without a
two
doubt.
events. Yeah, they won two events last year. They won the series. Like
Oh,
I'm
without a
really
doubt.
excited. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how they do in 2025.
Yeah, knowing
Um,
that Coach Ryan is going to be the assistant coach. Shout out to you, bud.
yeah, yeah. Like there's just a lot of really cool things to pull out of that, and it was on TV, and so from what I've gathered. I know Tom Cole was just with I think Tyler and Marcelo on PTG and was saying that there's an opportunity for that to happen again this year.
Well,
That's amazing, but like that's where hopefully the success of what happened in 2024 is
mm-hmm.
carrying over now to this year in 2025, and it'll just help grow and expand. Not so much paintball, but like just getting people to go from, hey, I've played in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a taste of it. Let me see what this is all about.
I agree
That more
100%.
fast paced, in your face, aggressive nature of it, of the tournament scene.
Yeah, I agree 100% because you know it. I do hope that it does grow from that experience, and I hope it grows this coming event at Tampa Bay, which we're gonna talk about your opinion about how it feels being on Tampa Bay Stadium, which is a big
Mm-hmm.
stadium. But we just got a question about this. It's the aftershock decision for move away from die. That is one good question, and that's why I want to know what happened.
I never really got a clear answer. Like essentially, from what I was told, is it came down to a better deal. Like more. At the end of there are guys on aftershock and a lot of pro teams that want to get paid. They want to make money. Like I did run through like a pretty, I don't say hypothetical, but a budget,
Mm-hmm.
like an estimated budget for what the team cost Todd Adamson um, for out of pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And
Oh
that's not
wow.
including what he paid people, right?
Right.
Because there are guys on the team that won money,
Right.
got paid money. So I don't know that. That's between Todd and the player.
Right.
So hundreds of thousands of dollars in food, rental car, hotel, um, miscellaneous items, gas, like you name it, right? Just there's
Right.
any other non-sponsored gear that players need or want, like he covered all that stuff, cleats, whatever name it, he had to pay for it. So that adds up, and at the end of it, if you're smart, you need to try to offset that cost. So the move to be fully GI doesn't surprise me because of Todd's history with GI and Billy Saransky, who's an amazing and a legendary player, amazing person.
Mm-hmm.
No, like I don't fault them for that. The move to Eclipse, like if they, when it comes down to it, if Die offered 30 guns, which I'm not saying they did or didn't, right? I know there was a very competitive offer out there, but Planet Eclipse offered 50, and let's just say, okay, let's just call each gun $1,000 for simple math. Well, here's $30,000 from Die, and then there's $50,000 from Planet. That's an extra $20,000. What are you going to choose?
Right.
It's a business decision, right? And
Yeah.
so that's just the decision that Todd and the team went with
I mean,
for a better deal, right? And
Right.
so,
It's for, I mean, yeah, playing clips is like, we were just shocked. Like we were literally shocked the fact that aftershock will go to leave die and to go to a different company, and it's just,
I mean, it happens all the time, right?
oh
Like
yeah, it happens all the time.
Dynasty
We
was,
just
you know,
never
oh,
thought that that was gonna happen. We thought it was like, oh, okay, aftershock's gonna stick with die, but hey, 2024, end of 2024, 2025 post preseason, the whole off season, a lot of craziness was happening. A lot of craziness was
yeah,
happening.
yeah. I
Whew.
mean, typically when pro teams make switches from major sponsors, it's very that's much rarer than players leaving teams, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
it's definitely not unprecedented to have happen, right? And like look at over Dynasty's rich history in going from a JT team, Smart Parts team, um, to what? I mean, then with DLX to
Mm-hmm.
Empire, and from Empire to Planet to Field One in HK, or like HK, and creating Field One, and then leaving HK to go to GI, right? Like it
Yeah.
happens. It happens a lot,
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
you know.
It happens so much. It was just, it was just saying that the off season was just a lot of changes and a lot of, like, we didn't see this coming.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is no one's really looking for it, right? The bigger news and the more easily talked about news is players going from one team to another. Like you expect that right away, and typically when the first domino falls, there's just a mad rush of players going here, there, bang, 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 boom, bang, bang. But the bigger picture is all those teams that if they're not really locked into a deal, a multi-year deal with a manufacturer, and yeah, they're going to be looking for deals to supplement the costs to offset them. Um, and that was just the case for Aftershock.
That's understandable. That's understandable, my friend. So another thing is this: how does it feel being knowing that you're the mascot for Die? When we look at Die products,
Scott, I don't
you're the
look at
mascot.
me, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels good. Like I have a pretty rich history with Dye and enjoying Aftershock for the first time and aspiring to be on that team. I mean, they were the first real blue Dye team. Everyone wore JT back in the day because that's really all there was. Outside of that, like Renegade and some other jersey stuff. But from JT, they went to Dye. They were head to toe Dye, the blue Dye team. Right? There was the Ironmen, and then it was Aftershock. You can sprinkle an LTZ and NYX in there as well. But that's just the team that they were, and so I grew up wanting and owning Dye gear, getting all my first pro year, all free Dye gear, and using it. And so like I loved it, and that in playing on a pro team, being sponsored by whatever your respective sponsor is, you're going to go to their booth, you're going to interact with their sales team, you're going to interact with their reps um, and their engineers and talk to them about stuff and build a rapport. And so that was super easy to do with Chris and Billy, and to meet Dave and just understand, and Devin, Rocky Cagnoni throughout the years, Wes. Like there's a handful of other people that have been around for a while that I've got to know and are still there and have been loyal to the brand and the company. And so to come back and be a part of that on the Ironman and now be employed, it's great. Like I love paintball. I love educating people about paintball. I know and believe in the products of Dye, and I mean, there's no arguing that, right? We took second place last year in Atlantic City. The Russians won 2 events and won the series. Like choosing Dye will win you tournaments. That's a fact, right? And you could say that about any company too, right? And choosing the right paint and being diligent about how you manage it will also help you win tournaments as well. So to step into that in those shoes and help with social media and marketing and be the face of the company, yeah, it's easy because I believe in it and I'm convicted about it. So I have no problem with that at all because I know our products are great. I know there's definitely issues and like times when we need to address and fix things, which everyone has. And I have no problem being that person. Whether it was when I was on GI and loved arguing with people about prototype JT shit on Facebook, which is so stupid. I'll still call that out. JT, step it up. And all those people out there that would say, "Oh, I'll never buy GI Pro Flexes," and now that's all they're doing now. So yeah, so I enjoy doing that with Dye because of the people I've known, the way I've been treated, the way they've treated other people, and I know that those people love and believe in the product as much as I do, and that makes me doing my job so seamless.
Right.
You know, as frustrated as people get with stuff, I'm frustrated too. But let's work towards a solution, right? I got a video from someone today asking me questions about their new MXR, and so
I
I'm
have one.
working like I've been yeah right, and I've been working with them through the steps of like, hey, do this, try that. Like we're working on it. We're gonna make it everything work for you because, I mean, I just shot my aftershock one. It shot great, and so I want
Uh,
you. If it's still gonna make me laugh and giggle to take my gun out and just rip a scream in my backyard and shoot my fence,
mhm.
then I know it's gonna do the same thing for you, and I want you to have that same experience. And if I'm doing it at 39 years old, just shooting a fence, you're gonna be able to do it too. Like that's the enjoyment of it, is we all get to
Oh yeah.
love some aspect of this game.
Yeah, I have an MXR. I actually got mine from Pelican Paintball here in Louisiana.
Nice.
Ryan Carton, owner of it, really good friend of mine, and I got the Death Star because I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm a nerd,
Yeah, baby.
and but I'll tell you this: when the moment that I saw the video of the MXR, and knowing that everything that y'all were doing for it, like and I shot it and felt it. Oh my god! I got now. Here's the thing. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. I traded the CS3 for the MXR,
Great trade.
and ever since then, I everybody was telling me one time that I made a big mistake. I'm like, no, I haven't, because it shoots amazing, less of a kick, and I get to dye ULI inserts, which I've been wanting to get because how good they are and how smooth they are. So I'm like, eh, screw y'all.
Look,
I love it.
it's one of those. Yeah, like I don't want. I'm not going to go up there and knock any other paintball company, right? It's
Yeah.
an easy thing to do. I like to sometimes have fun with it and poke fun at other people because I think every now and again, or more, what we need more frequently is some good healthy banter between companies, right? As long as
Oh
it's
yeah.
tasteful. Um, because at the end of the day, we're a bunch of grown ass men in the field shooting each other in a game, right? Like let's just call it what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we are.
Like again in football and soccer, like you're a bunch of grown ass men chasing a round ball around a field, like all trying to kick it into a little goal.
We,
It's a game, and we are so blessed to have taken it, not very long ago, the early '80s, to where we are now, and to have progressed and to be doing this right in a world where nothing's guaranteed to you tomorrow. Like this is what we get to do. We're so blessed. So I'm not going to knock any other paintball companies like in their products. I have
oh
been
no.
very fortunate to be sponsored by a lot of them,
Yeah.
Planet Eclipse and DLX, and it's been awesome. But like at the end of the day, like it's if you're not having to use a particular marker and you have a choice, then you pick the best thing for you. What feels
Mm-hmm.
best in your hands? What you feel confident in maintaining. And all of
Oh
you,
yeah.
I'll, like just read the manual and work on your damn paintball, right?
Oh yeah.
Like so
Without a
you
doubt.
know. Well, yeah, we can say that, but like a lot of people just don't do that.
No,
Oh,
they
it's the
don't.
paint. Oh, it's the gun. It's like no, if you know these are expensive items. So one, don't complain to me about the price. Like you're gonna buy a Honda Civic or you're gonna buy a Subaru or a Subaru, geez, a Supra, right? A Toyota. Like what are
Or a
you gonna do? Like
Tesla.
a Tesla, right? But like those higher end models of cars you're buying require higher end maintenance
Mm-hmm.
and attention,
Right.
right? So like
100%.
that's on you, right? You got to know when to change your oil, to change your O-rings, and to lube your bolt. And if this is happening, then that means this.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So
I get people a
yeah,
thousand times.
right. So I mean, again, if you're not being governed by sponsorship, then yeah, pick whatever you like best, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll never knock you for that. You should do that. Whatever feels comfortable in your hands and makes you more confident, then do it. If you are being governed by that, then that is the best paintball gun on the planet. And it's your job to know about it and then to be able to educate those people that do or don't. And I find no problem in people being honest about their favorite guns. And I had an Ego 11 that Jack Wood gave me that was amazing. One of my favorite guns I've ever had. My first aftershock gun, my first DM7, amazing. I had a camo Lux that I got and played with in Germany when we got screwed over by the Tauntauns. Damn Millennium people. Uh, Amazing. But like, I don't own any of those still. I sold them. They're paintball guns, right?
Right.
Um, I mean, I do have a aftershock TM7 DNA over there, but that's a whole other story.
Okay.
But like, the MXR, the DSR Plus are the best paintball guns out there.
Oh yeah.
With respect to everybody else, like they are. The ergonomics are great. They shoot fantastic. I do have a lot of favorite paintball guns I have owned over the years. I got a whole bunch of autocopiers
Oh yeah. Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, we can see the shadow.
Yeah. I got a Matrix back there, right?
Yeah. We can see the
So I think
shadow.
it's one of those things. Like if you are sponsored, like it's not your job to tear down who you're sponsored by. Like take pride in that. Like your team or organization has earned that right to be sponsored, and you get something. So embrace it and be the best ambassador for that brand and that sponsor that you can.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Or else,
And that's why that's why I keep bias. I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I like to, if it feels good in my hand, I'm gonna keep it. If it's not, then that ship is sailed, because I like Planet Eclipse. I've always worked with Planet Eclipse, and I even have the was it Ether 3M in my car, and it's souped up. I want to say souped up. I put some major upgrades to that son of a bitch. But I agree 100%. If you're not sponsored by anybody, test out the waters. Just test out the waters. You may never know what you might like.
yeah, and that goes for everything. Like I get that asked that question a lot for goggles. Like, look, that's one of the most important pieces of equipment that you're ever going to use. That, like, if it's not comfortable on your face, like, who cares about your paintball game? Like, you need to be able to see and not worry about this falling off your face.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like the
without
most
doubt.
important piece, right? So go to your local paintball store, try on all goggles. You're going to choose the i5 anyway, so it doesn't matter. And go from there, right? Just go from there.
Well, hopefully the i5 will come out with big fat head face, because that's why I have. Yeah, that was
Well,
my.
yeah, I mean, if you got a big head, you wear the i5. If your head's a little bit smaller, you wear the i4 Pro.
Yeah, I got my carbon. I like my carbon.
And hey, look, nothing wrong with that.
But so being a paintball player, like being the status that you have, and also being a father, like how do you juggle it? Like how it's probably be
Well,
stressful.
when I'm at the field, I'm a paintball player, and then when I'm at home, I'm the dad.
But how do you?
I mean, I've been really blessed to have a lot of amazing support from my mother-in-law, from my mom and my dad, from my sister, my brother-in-law Cody, and that makes my life as a paintball player a lot easier. And also from Di, like Chris and Billy and Dave and Rhonda have all been incredibly supportive of my situation and where I'm at, and have given me the flexibility to be both. Like right now, I'm able to do this, to be here in my office and do this interview because my mother-in-law is watching my kids in my house. If I was trying to do this at home, like it would be chaos. And if you watch the episodes that Dylan Fountain and I have been doing with grilling with Dylan and I, there's 2 episodes out now. Yeah, you'll see my kids all over the place. It's just chaos. Like if that's how it's going to be, and that's just the real world.
Your kids are precious.
Yeah, they're pretty wild. So, but I mean, that's just kind of how that goes. And I'll tell you, I mean, like in the things and the lessons I've learned, the people I've been around in my trials and tribulations with paintball, and working through the ranks and working in the industry, have taught me a lot and about life and how it operates, that I can apply to being a dad with my kids. Communication, how you communicate with your kids, how you communicate with your teammates, how you communicate with your work.
Exactly.
The lack of it and the consequences of not communicating or being honest and being accountable. Doing the same thing with your kids.
I agree
100%. It has consequences, right?
Right. 100%.
You're at practice and you get shot going to the corner, but you tell your coach you got shot when you got there. So that lane, I can make it through that lane. That applies to how honest you're gonna be with your kids about it. That's not the right thing to do. Right and wrong. It's a big one.
Right. So now, since another thing is this: how does it feel being a free agent, not knowing that you don't have to go to play?
It's not a new feeling. Sorry, I kind of cut you off. What were you asking?
Yeah, like it's just I never understood like how does it feel now being like a free agent, like because now you don't have to play go flying to different parts of the country to go play. You could just if you want to, you could just do it. Like, does it feel like more time on your hands, or is it like what's like how you feel about it?
I mean, and this situation is probably more different than any of the ones in the past because I am an employee of Die, and I can't go just play for any other team,
Hmm,
and so my
which is
options are
understandable.
limited. Yeah, so my options are limited. So there's the Ironmen and there's Red Legion. The Red Legion don't need the role that I fill on their team, and they do have a very uh, professional and inspiring training regime that with my kids as a dad, as a single parent, I can't do. It's just not realistic.
Right.
And for the Ironman, they have a full roster, and this is not a team that I would want to go back to and play for.
Oh.
So that leaves me no other options, right? I do have the opportunity to go to Europe,
Hmm.
which I'm more than likely going to do and play paintball over there. Um, but outside that, it's just kind of business as usual. Like I'm still going to be occupied and doing a job for Die. I'm still going to be working with BKI and doing training. I'm still going to be doing clinics. So it's not the way I would choose to end my pro career by kind of just being left without a chair when the music stops, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. But it's just this is just the reality that I'm living in. And instead of like stomping my feet and pouting about it, I'm just going to put my nose back to the grind and get to work because what else is there to do? You know,
Right.
it's just to make the best of the opportunity in the situation I'm in versus dwell on oh woe is me, this life sucks, boo hoo hoo, like whatever. Life sucked worse than this for me, so I can get past it and get through it.
Yeah, and excuse me. And that's great mentality to have, and I like that mentality. Like you said, you're working for Die, and you keep your mind going, and you could like you said you could always go play in Europe where they have different rules and everything, but it would be a fresh of breath air and spend more time with your kids and you know go to the events as as a fan, just
Mm-hmm.
go there as a fan, which a lot of people like to do, like because you play so much, so many tournaments, be on teams and everything. You know, just going out there as a fan and just watching is like this is good. This is really good. And but I'm glad that I'm happy to hear that you're taking this pretty well, and because like I said, man, you're one of the top players in my book of the greatest of all time. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. You deserve it. Boom. So, what's your opinion of 2025, especially going to Tampa at the Buccaneers Stadium? Like, how do you feel about that? That's going to be the first match or first tournament of this new season.
I think it's great. I think change is good. It's in any sense of it, right? I mean, there's always times where it could definitely suck, but you have to learn from it. If this isn't the first time that paintball's been played in Tampa, Seven Man was there for a few years in the MPPL back in it was 06, 07, 08, or maybe before that.
Mm-hmm.
But right outside of Raymond James. So like they know as long as the infrastructure there hasn't changed, which I'm guessing it hasn't much because the league is going back, then there's an opportunity to be there.
Right.
Weather should be halfway decent. Getting into Tampa is pretty easy for most people across the country. So it has everything that the NXL and the players and the sponsors need. So I think it's good. Like the people. How much more do people like Vegas? Um, I'm sure there are a lot of people that liked it a little bit more. It definitely was probably more of a benefit for the West Coast teams, for any teams like in that area that wanted to play. But the league's got to do what it has to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if that opportunity opened up, then why not take it and see what happens? And I don't know, like could the league not go back to Las Vegas at that park because people complained because there were paintballs balls left on the ground, or was the park already rented out to somebody else, and the league had no choice but to search for a new venue? I'm not sure, but I think it's a good thing because moving around, especially to cities that the league hasn't been to in a while, always opens up the opportunity for new eyes to come and see what we do. So
Okay.
I'm all for it.
Okay. And what do you think about the whole new? They're changing the was it the ranking system, like from D5 to like novice and all that. That's craziness.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about
Oh, really?
it. Yeah, like I did see that there was some post about changing the names of the divisions,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'm pretty sure that was redacted.
Okay. Well,
And this is where like I can go off and vent about the job that the NXL does for Major League Paintball.
mm-hmm.
Um, they put out a flyer with some text describing that, and in my mind, that's a poor thing to do. You
Right.
have Tom Cole, you have Jason Trozen, you have a lot of very smart people
Mm-hmm.
that have been around and have done things. And I'm not putting this on either of them because ultimately I
Right.
don't know who made the decision. And at this point, it doesn't matter if they're not sticking to it. But
Right.
the execution for getting the word out there to the people could be done better.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
have done
like make a video, make a couple of videos, have other people watch it and critique it, right? And then go from there, right? Like when we make videos, like they're looked at, reviewed, looked at again, reviewed. Did we get the message across? Did we check all the boxes off on what we wanted to get done? There's an outline, there's a shot list, there's a bunch of things, and like there's smart people that work for the league that can do this. That's what they do. But the lack of that happening, I think, is pretty disappointing. And I've said this on multiple interviews and shows. Like the league needs to. I don't want to have to go. And no, nothing against Ryan and Kyle and the Spigot Span show or PTG and Tyler and Marcelo, but I should not have to go there to get news on Major League Paintball from Tom Cole.
Right.
Major League Paintball and the NXL have a huge following, tens of thousands of followers, if not over 100,000 combined, probably maybe even 200,000.
Right.
They have Matty Marshall, right?
They got the coaches show.
They've got the coaches show. They could easily bring everyone together or choose individuals that they employ or pay or contract out to deliver this message through them. And I've had this discussion with Jason Trozen. I bring him up because he's smart and he has a very good grasp of paintball and the rules and thinking things through and having what you would call good field awareness. And if this, then that, cause and effect. So like they could just bring that message directly to people. But like when I want news on scores, I don't go to Yahoo Sports or ESPN News. I go straight to NFL.com scores.
Right.
Right. I don't like when I want to read about, and I mean I don't because I don't really care about any of those sports. But if I want to read about something, I go straight to the source of that sport. I'm going to Major League Soccer. I'm going to the NBA. I'm going to their website to get those details. Right. When I want the rules for the NXL, I don't go to PB Nation. Rest in peace. I go straight to the NXL. And I find the rules on the NXL. So that would be my one wish with stuff like that. And this might be going off again, like in a different path. But like, I wish they would do a better job themselves of getting that message out there and being more transparent on that, versus me having to listen to the opinions of Ryan, Kyle, and Tom on different stories, which I do. I mean, they do a good job.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to have to sift through an hour and a half with that. I want a news article front page here, and then second page here, and third page here, and I want the black and white of it up and dry.
Right. Yeah, I understand completely because I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. I rather get down like what is going on. Like I agree 100%. That's not to be mean to Ryan and Kyle, but honestly to me that's why I'd rather watch the coaches show because I'm friends with Mike Bianca, but I like how they get straight to the point, and that's what I like about the coaches show. That I'd rather watch that than the Spigot Span. Now, again, no hating on Spigot Span, but I just prefer the coaches show.
No, I'm with you. Like there is a market for that type of entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's what that is. Right. It's opinion. It's not there is some facts that are let go that like put out there, but like again, if I want the facts, I should be getting that from the league
Right.
is my source. If I want entertainment and I want to interact and mess around with people in the chat, then I'm perfectly fine jumping on the YouTube and watching Spick and Span or in Discord and listening to the PTG thing.
Right.
Perfectly fine with that. But like, you know, for me,
You like to get.
like,
You want the full.
yeah, I'm being very specific about what I'm looking for, and again, I think that the especially in these cases where Meta is paying for views and content, like that's just the league should be drawing the eyes to them and not
Mm-hmm.
putting it elsewhere. And I appreciate that they do that, and I think it's great that they give those outlets an opportunity to have them on there, which is primarily just Tom. But
Right.
yeah, I'll keep saying the same damn thing over and over again. Like,
That's all. It's fine.
just do your own thing. Come on,
Yeah. That's what
get Rich Telford back. Make him the guy that breaks the news.
Yeah, that's what I agree 100% because the fact that be unique, be original,
Yeah,
and
just be you.
just be you. Yeah, exactly. That's what I go for every single time. I may actually hold on thought.
Yep.
I actually
We lost him.
have this.
Yeah, baby.
It's the Paintball Lounge Championship belt that I got
I
from
like
Trophy
that.
Smack, and
Nice.
it's my design. It's like what I want to do. I want to be unique. I want to be the podcast holding, who has this belt.
You got to wear that.
I can only wear it on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I can only wear it on my shoulder, but after a while it gets tiring. But you know, but that's me being unique. That's me being me, and I agree 100% what you're what you're saying. Like that's why, you know, that's what they need to do. That's what Tom Cole and them all need to do. Like be unique. Don't try to be something that everybody else is doing. And
Yeah, I mean, just like again, if you're breaking news, break it on your own channel, and
mm,
not somewhere else where there's going to be a bunch of
yeah,
noise, white noise. That's what I would want. I would hope other people want that too. Um, but stop feeding the mob.
yeah, 100%. So now this part of the show, since we cover all the questions and everything, now it's time for me to be on the hot seat. What questions you got for me?
What does your banner say behind you?
It's actually the Paintball Lounges banner. It has all
I know,
this.
but like, what is Z-A-H-I?
Oh, that's the guy who makes the shirts and my jerseys.
Okay.
My pants is Zaha. Zane. Oh, I call him Zane. His real name is Zane.
Okay.
Sports and PB. He makes all the products. He made this and the shirt, which is so comfortable.
I assumed that was your logo behind you, but you block it out so well that I
Yeah,
wasn't sure. And so like once you bent
yeah,
over for the belt, then I was like,
yeah.
there it is. There's the fleur de lis. There it is. But like I was like, what is that? Like it's not you. Like who is this?
Believe it or not, the Fort Lee was not my logo at first.
Fleur de lis. Yeah.
It was not the
No.
Fort Lee. It was the dragon, the blue dragon. And
Play the dragon.
yeah, well, there were some problems with the fact that I'm in New Orleans, and it was the Kings versus Dynasty that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I had to change it, so that's why I changed it to the Fort Lee.
Nice. That
Yeah,
works.
yeah, fits that.
What kind of gaming chair you got there?
This one I got from Amazon. It's I can't read. Z-Noose. Yeah, it's Z-Noose.
Okay.
It comes with a massage for my back and everything.
Nice.
Only
You playing
$100.
video game? You playing some video games or what? What are you doing?
I do play video games. I am a gamer. I play Call of Duty, RPG. I do play paintballers if there's if I wanted to. Um, see whoever I play against. But I do play a lot of video games, mostly Xbox.
Okay. Dude, I lost my Xbox.
Hey,
True story, dude. It was when I moved to Florida. Before I moved, I took my Xbox and all my games in to a GameStop, and I traded up the newest Xbox. Plus, it cost me like $11. So I was like, yes. Moved to Fort Lauderdale, bring my Xbox to work because my wife was like, yeah, you're not playing that anymore at home because I know you're addicted. And then I go to Europe for a paintball tournament, and I come back, and there's Brad McCurley, Justin Ravikoff, and Darren Cesenia playing it in the studio. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then Darren was like, hey, the new Red Dead Redemption's coming out. Can I borrow your Xbox? And I was like, sure. And then it's gone. He's had it this entire time.
Wow.
I definitely miss playing Xbox, playing Destiny, getting on live and playing with people.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
the good old days.
Oh yeah, and like people don't know that I'm like my gamer tag is not the paintball lounge on there. It's Finreal or yeah
Okay.
Finreal Nola because me and my best friend and my sister like we're all Norix fans like the Norse mythology and all that and
That's what I thought. Fender, isn't it? Like, uh,
yeah like Thor and all
yep.
that. My sister's Valkyrie, my best friend's Thor, so I'm like, all right, might as well become Finro because my girlfriend, she's a Loki fan. She's Loki's fan, and I'm like, oh yeah, she likes Loki, and so I'm like, all right, I'll be Finro. I am,
Nice.
but but yeah, I play Xbox on my time being, other than watching paintball and doing this.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you creating the content.
Oh yeah, and I got started doing this over just this was never gonna be this big, really. It was just gonna be a
What
simple.
have you done? Why have you made it so big?
Well, maybe because I enjoy it, and
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See?
see
You enjoy it. Like, that's the best part. Like,
I
if
do,
you enjoy doing it, then follow your passions.
I do enjoy it so much, and it was. I'm not gonna lie. When I was doing this podcast, and it was just gonna be a talk show. It was just not gonna be no videos making, no gameplay or anything like that. It was just gonna be a talk show. Well, crazy idea comes round about, and now I started making videos. Now I started doing gameplays, and I actually took a book from Matt the Gym Rat
Nice.
of getting one of these things,
There you go.
and now I just do gameplay videos and talk to famous people and amazing people like you, Mike Bianca, um, and everybody else. And I've been doing this since 2022.
There you
2020,
go.
yeah.
Only
And
3 years.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, 3 years of me being in the paintball lounge, and I'm like, God, I would never thought I would have done this.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. Is there any more questions, man? I'm an open book.
Yeah. How do I get that belt?
I knew you. I knew you were gonna say something about the belt when I show it.
I mean, you shared it. I was like, I gotta ask.
Well, the thing about the belt was this: that see in Louisiana, we don't have that many paintball, activities because it's very secluded.
Yeah.
Like there's like maybe I don't know, like I guess roughly 5 fields, and one of them is the New Orleans Hurricanes home field, LAX. Well, there was supposed to be a tournament to win this belt, but it never happened. And a funny story about this. I don't know if you heard about the Grayson Manning and what happened to him.
You hit by a car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His last tournament before the accident was my beta tournament. And you know, and ever since then, like, we didn't win full fledged because everybody didn't want to get this belt, or I don't know. It was the economy. I don't know what happened, but I do want to give this belt, but now I'm thinking about like reopening the tournament, thinking about it, and be like a 1v1 tournament for this belt.
Ooh, I like that.
Because I like 1v1. I suck at 1v1s. I'm not gonna lie. I suck at 1v1s. I really do. But I love seeing 1v1s because I think the reason why I love it is because that ultimate shootout that came out during the pandemic.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I wish that could get brought back.
Oh yeah, I wish they would bring back Ultimate Shootout, and all sorts of different styles of tournaments that Ghost Sports used to have. Even ICPL, I miss having ICPL in the Ghost Sports because I miss seeing it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So what would you say your favorite format of paintball is?
I was 5 men, but now
Okay.
it's 3 men. I like 3 men and I love 7 men. I would like to try to do 10 men on the like on Mouse Field. I
Hmm.
That's something I never did. I never did Mouse Field, play ICPL, and that's something I am, kind of want to do as my bucket list because you know it's it's everybody's been telling me how great it is and how you know it's just fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should try
I mean, to say, yeah, I'd say if you have an opportunity to go do those things for sure. And that's the beauty about how big things have got now and the resurgence of some of those things because a lot of fields do pay attention and they have mounds fields. They offer 3 man, 5 man, 10 man, 7 man. I'm surprised that no one has attempted to pull off a one-off 7 man event
it.
and do a throwback to the NPPL and just try and find some of the old bunkers and do that. I think that will be pretty cool. It kind of like how Tim Ontrester did the first couple ICPL or ICCs,
Mm-hmm.
where there was a variety of 10 mans through the woods, the mounds, and hyperball. But you had a field that had two areas where you could set up two 7 man fields that were different. No walking, no release, advanced layout. I think you'd crush it.
I think now I'm not mistaken. I think that PB Fit or Paintball Fit is doing Super Seven. I think that's what it's called, Super Seven. I don't know if that's a 7 man. I think it is. I never seen it. I haven't seen it at all. But I might have to look into that, see if it is what you're saying, like the old style of 7 man.
I don't. You might be thinking of the league in Australia.
Mm.
That was a Super Sevens. That's not 7 man. That's just what they
Oh,
call the league.
oh.
I know Paintball Fit. They do a lot of different things there, but um, yeah, it might be worth looking into
Oh yeah.
um, to see if that's. I don't know. I don't know that I've heard of a 7 man event happening anywhere. And I mean when I say 7 man, I mean you're playing semi-auto,
Mm-hmm.
uncapped, seven
Figures.
on seven, you know,
In the woods.
hold with the flag. I mean, no, I wouldn't want to do the woods, right? Because if we could do it at like it would just be airball.
Okay.
No hyperball, no mounds, just two different airball fields. So that could prove a little bit of a challenge for a venue.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking out loud, like Badlands could do it with the area that they have, and if they did it that way, that would be an easy thing for Major League Paintball to come in, go like what was Go Sports and film, and you just would have it capped at 20 teams, and you set your schedule through a TPA or whatever PBLI,
Mm-hmm.
um, and run it. And the first 20 teams to sign up, and you make it cash prizes. Entice some
Yeah.
sponsors to come out. You have a golden gun for like MVP, and just have fun.
Yeah, it'll be actually be
Open tournament,
different.
like no rankings. Like it's full pro team wants to come, a full pro team comes. I don't care,
Right.
but I would make it the old dimensions, the old rules of the MPBL, and let the men go to war, and any of you women folk that want to as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It would be actually be different. It would actually be different, bringing back the old style into the modern era, to where that or that they call it the golden era. But I think that would be a great idea because then you could be like, you know, showing these people like who had never played paintball and they'd be like, hey, this is what it was back in the day, and to get a taste
Yeah,
of it. Because some of these pro players or semi-pro never played. I don't think they ever played the old style like it was back then. They probably did, and then got back into the sport.
I mean, I would doubt it. Like we call it's the NXL, right? That's the name of the league, but
Yeah.
the NXL was the premier league in the PSP that had completely different rules. And when I got into it, it was full auto, 15 balls a second, two 25-minute abs with a penalty box and 5-minute majors and 2-minute minors. Like, no one's doing that anymore.
Nope.
So even having a tournament like that, which some people have done and tried, maybe not like exactly the same, would be epic. I mean, that's how it was, and the game has scaled now down and to the left and to the right of what it used to be, which I understand. I'm not going to knock, but to be able to try and throw a one-off event with some teams, with some people to do that, I mean, that's just fun. Right? You're just bringing back what it used to be and giving people an opportunity to participate in that like it was. Yeah, I mean, give me 15 balls a second off the break full auto.
Oh, Lord have mercy. That would be a crazy moment to where that, but it would also be a fun experience. And I agree 100%. Something new. That's what definitely would need to happen.
Maybe I'll try. I'll talk to Rennick, see if I can organize it.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Any more you got, man?
I mean, that's what I got. Actually, I do. I say I gotta go pick. I got a text. My daughter's at her friend's house. I gotta go pick her up in 14 minutes.
Okay, man. I understand. Well, but my friend, thank you for coming on the show. This was a once of a lifetime in my book, an amazing experience. And not only that, being the first pro player to be on this show, it's. I wanted to pick you. I've always wanted to get an interview with you. I didn't want to do Oliver Lane. I did not want to do Ryan Greenspan.
Trust me, they're great.
Trust me, there was a jar with names, and I was shaking the jar, and I was hoping it was gonna be Nick Slowiak, and I got my wish.
Woohoo!
But
I was in a jar.
But thank you for coming on the show, my friend, and I hope that everything happens in the future in your way, and keep on rocking, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem. We'll see you around.
See you guys.